Oh, there he is. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. A little tired, but I'm good. Looking forward to this live. And how about you?
I'm doing super well. Super well. I feel good actually. Like it's been a really tough transition, but everything is just so amazing. And that's why we're here because, healing, trauma, all of this stuff is not like a very common, how to say, stuff that people talk about in the
Yeah,
outside world, isn't it? You agree with
yeah,
me?
exactly. Yeah,
And
the hero of showing yourself vulnerable, I guess.
yeah, that's a very tough thing that we actually try to just hide because that's what is acceptable, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. All right, so Jorge, we are going to begin this how I got connected with you. Like basically, this amazing guy called me out from my comfort zone last year, which is January, and it's so funny we're doing this in the same month of another year,
Yeah.
January. So yeah, what my first question, we're just going to flow out from this question. What made you see that I was really struggling when you saw me in the community call?
Actually, I think that it was a little bit before that because I think that I had already had a call with you, like individual call like this. I'm not even sure, okay, but that's
Me,
kind of how I remember it. And so I already knew at that moment what your mission was. And I felt like it was such a powerful thing that needed to be shared with the world. And of course, I had already talked to you like this, so I already kind of knew what your personality was and those kind of things. And so when later in the community calls, I saw you like very shy, like laid back and like in the background, I felt like there was some kind of struggle there. And of course, with such a powerful mission as you have, you needed to get out there. You needed to start to trust yourself, trust in your voice, because that's pretty much what you're gonna need to convince other people to do the same as you're doing. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And I just saw an opening, and I was like, I hope that she doesn't hate me for that, but I'm just gonna call her out and it went
that's
great. Of course, you struggled in the beginning and like your voice was trembling and those kind of things. But look at you now. Like 1 year later, it's like it was a necessary step, and I just took it for you.
and I'm super grateful that it actually happened. As far as I can remember, Jorge, you came into the community with such a powerful energy, and you actually were so. It's amazing, like how you actually approach everything, like the energy and all. And I think you are the person that I was looking for, like to push me out because you're way more stronger than I am, and I. But yeah, I remember that I reached out to you and I asked you some stuff like, hey, I have seen like who you are, how you speak, and you were talking about if you need some help, just reach out to me. So that's also one of your mission, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
Um,
can you tell me more about it? Like, what do you want to tell
yes.
the world?
Yes, of course. So my mission is basically to learn to accept emotions in the most general sense of the words. But it's also giving visibility to things like depression and anxiety, which a lot of people suffer from, but it's also like a taboo thing that, well, as we said before, people fear showing themselves vulnerable. And it's a shame because it's such a common problem that we could really like help each other with these kind of things. And also the misinformation that's around there, like the typical thing that when you say that you're depressed, other people are just going to be like, well, everybody has it bad, or it's not that bad, or those kind of comments that really invalidate what you're going through. And depression is a real sickness. So it's I don't know. There have been days, of course, I guess I should say that I suffer from both depression and anxiety, so that's good. And so there have been days that I couldn't even get out of bed. And it really made it worse to feel that I couldn't even talk about it. I, of course, have worked on it in my therapy process, and it has been super great because of the acceptance of that situation. Like trying to force yourself when you are going through such a bad thing, it's just going to make things worse because you're going to push against something that can't be moved, and you're
Mm-mm.
just going to feel like more useless instead of, just saying, okay, I just need a day off or whatever, and just be myself, be with myself and take care of myself. And so, yeah. And
Yeah,
of
that's
course,
so true.
yeah, and especially, I guess I should also say that among men, that's even more difficult to talk about. Because of course, with women, it's like more normal between women, I mean, to talk about emotions and those kind of things. But when you're a man, you're either tagged with a homosexual thing or whatever, which I'm not, but it's like I've lived with that all my life. So it's like, I think that's something that I also need to help change to normalize these kind of things.
And you know what? I agree to everything you said. And it's not, I mean, you saying that you suffered from both anxiety and depression. That's the reason why you have this power, this urge to tell the world, because you have conquered it. You want to help people because you know how to help people instead of just, you know, I don't know, like if you underwent or if you had a breakthrough, that's the time that you actually will expand your consciousness per se, and would let you step out from that bubble for yourself but to help others. And also with the taboo thing with men, which is I feel super sad as well, like you're a man, you need to toughen up, you can't cry because you're a man.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
one of the reason that I really hate, not hate, but yeah, yeah, so you could actually help a lot of people about this kind of mission that you have, and that's the reason also that our voice need to be heard. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes, because not everyone has this kind of uh, perspective. They need help, and we don't necessarily need to be there and help them with their journey, but we can guide them, and they need to
Yeah.
do the work, right? And you
Yeah.
mentioned about self care. Can you tell me like at least five self care that you are doing, like from time to time, to just be grounded and be be there for yourself?
Yeah. Yes, of course. So, of course, the going to nature is like one of the main things that I would recommend, because that's like the more stepping out of an environment that actually makes your anxiety get worse, or even when you're a little bit depressed and you start to feel like you can start to move. That's a great way to do it, because the energy gets channeled through the earth, and of course you release negative things. And well, it's an amazing tool that I try to use as much as I can. And I'm lucky to have a forest pretty close to my home, so yeah. Also, of course, meditation. That really, 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 really helps. I can't state that enough. And and yes, I guess we should mention that to start to meditate, it's not really something like people usually have the idea that they need to be like a half an hour meditating, and so if they don't reach more than 5 minutes the first time, they won't ever do it again. And it's like, no, like just keep on going. It's like training a muscle. Of course, if you stop training, you're not going to get stronger. So
True.
yeah, that kind of mindset shift, just start doing it, and it doesn't matter if you are doing it 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever, just keep doing it day by day. So yeah. And that also, of course, especially when we are suffering from anxiety, the mind tries to go at a really, really fast pace. And that is just a way to simply calm things and just go back to yourself. So yeah, nature to ground with an external force, meditation to ground yourself with your internal power. What else? Exercising, of course. That really, really helps, because it also helps you feel better with yourself, and that can make you reach other goals. For example, in my personal experience, I started with swimming.
Mm. Oh, I hope my face is not stuck up. Jorge, are you there or
Yay!
am I
I
here?
am. I am. Are you?
I'm still here. Hello? Can you see me?
I can.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
No, no, that's pretty much it. That it's gonna help you also work with your fears, make you feel like you can take on more challenges instead of just spinning in the same cycle of not feeling good. So therefore, you're not going to work out because you're not good enough, and blah 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 blah, which is basically just putting more layers on top of it. And yeah, that's pretty much the main things that I would say. And of course, inform yourself as much as you can. Like read books about these kind of things, and yeah, just stay informed because maybe you're trying to reach to someone else who doesn't really know how to support you. And in the end, it's you who have to support yourself, and of course, be aware if other people are actually making things worse while trying to support you. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would say.
Yeah, and you actually gave so much value. I just want to ask you, Jorge, like, when you mentioned about reaching out to the right people, does this relate to cancel culture that we have right now?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a pretty big thing, right? Like
Yeah,
everyone's just it sucks that it's the normal thing to do. And everyone who's actually struggling so much, they don't know why, how, or when, and it makes everything worse instead of just making it, you know, alleviate a little bit. So yeah,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I think yeah, you actually helped me so much grow to become who I am right now, which is I'm pretty grateful that I got connected with such an amazing soul like you. Yeah, and that's why I
Likewise.
actually asked you to hop on here because I know that you have a lot of value to share, and it's time for us to make our voice heard. Is that the
Yes,
right English though?
absolutely.
Make the voice
Yeah, yeah,
heard.
yeah. I guess. Neither of us are native English, so
Yeah, well, as long as we are communicating and telling people what we want to, what's in our hearts, and for them to
yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah, for
exactly.
them just conveying the message and sharing the value for them to have something for themselves as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all for today, Jorge. I don't want to
Okay,
squeeze you so much so that we can have a little more call the next time.
okay, okay.
But
I'm good with that.
but thank you so much. For now, I would love you to tell everyone where they can find you, your Instagram page, and the content that you're putting out, and who you can help. And yeah, tell.
Yeah, yeah, of course. My main thing is Instagram, of course. So pretty much the profile that I'm using here, and that's j dot soundtrack to the soul. And so yeah, you can find me there. And I mainly try to write about well these things that I've already mentioned about well the tools that I've learned in my own therapeutic process. Things about depression and benefits of different tools that I'm using. So yeah, I'm mainly focused on this kind of emotional journey, uh, looking for emotional maturity, emotional intelligence. Yeah, pretty much based on that. And so yeah, that's pretty much it. And so yeah,
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me. And whenever you want, we can do this again.
it's my pleasure, my dear Jorge. Yeah, thank you so much, and
Yeah,
wishing you an
thank you.
amazing day.
And
Ciao,
yeah,
Bella.
I'm just gonna add that it's amazing to actually see your progress during this whole year. So yeah, keep going because you're doing
Thank
amazing.
thank you
Okay,
so much.
bye, Kat.
Bye, mi amigo.